Recording in progress.
Good afternoon. I'm going to call the council meeting to order. Thank you everyone for coming. Going to ask if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest. If so, disclose it now. Hearing none, we're going to move along to reporting out of closed. We have a resolution moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Gunson, that the council receive the closed session report regarding information supplied in confidence by a third party that is, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to cause harm, either by prejudicing significantly the competitive position or interfering significantly with the contractual or negotiations of a person, group of persons, or organization, and this has to do with attainable housing information. And further, that council approve the confidential direction given to staff. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. We're going to move into minutes. I have a resolution moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson. Resolution that the minutes of the Town of Minto, April 7th, 2026 closed session meeting and May 19th, 2026 regular council meeting be approved. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you. Resolution moved by Councillor Gunson, second by Councillor Potnovitz, that the council, Town of Minto, convene into committee of the whole. All in favor of the motion? That's carried as well. So we have a delegation today. I have a, it's on 2026 asset management annual review. And I have a resolution moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that the Council of Town of Minto receives the 2026 Asset Management Annual Review for information.
We have Sarah Craig online.
Okay.
You just got to promote her. Is she on there? Okay.
Good afternoon. Sarah, you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Sarah Craig. I can't hear you very well. I'm wondering if you could get a little closer to the mic, possibly.
Okay. Is that better?
It's a little better, yeah. So you have the floor. We have in front of us the Asset Management Annual Review. And I'm assuming, Sarah, that you're going to take a few minutes and go over this.
Yes, for sure. So my presentation is up on the screen, I believe.
Yes, we have it on the screen.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you very much for having me here today. I'm happy to be able to provide an update on your asset management program. Next slide. What I'm going to go through today is just touch on a background, but then take a look at the last year and what's been accomplished. Go through some of the things that are holding progress in your implementation of your asset management plan back, some strategies and next steps to move forward in your asset management program, and then any questions that anybody has. Next slide. So in terms of background on the regulation and why we're here today, next slide. The Infrastructure for Jobs and Prosperity Act came in 2015, and the Ontario government introduced Regulation 58817, where all municipalities needed to develop a policy as well as asset management plan over the course of 2022 to 2025, increasing in complexity, which we talked about this time last year, your 2025 asset management plan. And now we're here to review your program and your implementation. And in the regulation, it requires that annually we address that progress. And we just talk about how it's going. So next slide. So your year in review. Next slide. Just taking a look at the replacement costs of your infrastructure. We've been going through your inventory, and we've been able to do some pretty significant updates to the system, data alignment between your GIS and your inventory. And so the increase in replacement cost that is shown in the graph. In your asset management plan, you're at 526 million in infrastructure, is now 569 million. And that is due to inflationary changes as well as some data updates to better reflect construction in your area and the actual replacement costs of your infrastructure. Next slide. We've been working on some ongoing condition assessments for buildings and infrastructure projects. And so this graph shows the change in distribution of condition. But on average, your condition overall went from 61% to 62%. So it's a positive increase with all the work that's been done. And the 24 to 25 change in the percent good or very good condition rating for your infrastructure went from 55% of your assets to 60% of your assets. So everything is moving in a very positive direction. And then in terms of next slide, please. Your funding levels. It was identified that you were funding 29% of your infrastructure replacement requirements in your asset management plan, and that has increased to 32% in 2026. I will note at this time that your 2026 budget well exceeds these values at $14 million, which includes the Palmerston Road reconstruction and other large initiatives. But that funding level isn't sustainable going forward. And we still recommend, and I'll say this again later on in the presentation, but we still recommend that 3% capital dedicated levy increase year over year. Next slide, please. In terms of some of what's holding us back, the impediments to the implementation of your asset management plan and program. There are substantial financial pressures, the impact of increased costs, as well as the funding requirements for maintaining a very large network of infrastructure and the long-term investments that are necessary. As well as, next slide, please. Data alignments and long-term infrastructure planning. So regulations are constantly changing, and keeping up with all of the requirements takes a lot of time and collaboration, as well as increased
Sarah,
climate
we're having a
change.
small problem, Sarah.
Oh,
You
sorry.
lost your voice.
Oh, sorry about that.
Uh, you're still very faint.
Mm, is that better?
Not really.
No. Okay.
There, there. Again?
Now?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're back. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. So in terms of continuing to go through some of the um, impediments, uh, increased climate related risk, um, uh, storm events, identifying ways to um, build resiliency in your capital program, integrating all the levels of strategic documentation. Um, so you've successfully completed your rate study and your background study for your development charges. Um, but it takes time and effort and organizational capacity in order to integrate all of these things together and move forward with your levels of service. Um, and so, in terms of addressing those sort of ongoing impediments, next slide, we talk about strategies and next steps. So in terms of the approach moving forward for addressing some of the holdups in your implementation, uh, certainly recommend continuing to pursue alternative funding sources. So one-time grants, public-private partnerships, donations. Um, so that you're not just using your tax base to fund um, your large infrastructure projects. Continuing to develop organizational capacity. So going finding training, uh, interdepartmental collaboration and development. Um, Evaluate opportunities for dedicated asset management staffing or a shared service model to support your program development. Um, in terms of the inflationary pressures and cost escalations, continue to refine your life cycle planning, updating condition assessments, and developing a prioritization process to help you optimize your infrastructure investment timing, increase focus on preventative maintenance strategies to extend asset life and reduce the overall life cycle costs. Incorporate, uh, updated cost assumptions into your long-term financial planning and reserve forecasting, as well as explore phased project implementation approaches to better manage your capital affordability challenges. And then in terms of strategic document integration, um, integrate your water and wastewater rate study into your asset management program to set your proposed levels of service for uh, those two infrastructure groups. And then also review the impact of anticipated growth and development on your long-term financial strategy and lifecycle management. And also work towards aligning your infrastructure, or sorry, your life cycle projections from your asset management system incorporating them in with your annual budget process, so that everything is working from the same data set. It'll help you gain some efficiencies to that. Next slide, please. So in terms of the next steps and the focus for the coming year, we're going to, so in terms of targeted actions, look for training opportunities, review life cycle models, work towards prioritization, a prioritization process, and incorporating your asset management system into your budget processes. Interdepartmental collaboration is going to be a big one, which will help facilitate the continued work on your data and making improvements and alignment with your different data sources and your operations groups. And then the annual review in 2027. Next slide, please. Questions. So again, that was a lot of information really quickly. Does anybody have?
Thank you, Sarah. You did move that through that information very quickly. There was a lot there, and I just see the smile on our treasurer's face. Is there anything you want to add, Treasurer Duff?
Yes, Your Worship. I'd just like to thank Sarah for not only today, but keeping us on track for the last year. And I know her and Jackie have done a lot of work, and keep hearing interdepartmental collaboration. Basically, that means we need the data from the other working departments, and especially like getting the GIS occupied in that too. So take the time to work on this, and will only benefit the quality of their decisions and the quality of information we bring to you as well. I am happy that Minto is on target and we're not missing any deadlines, so that's good. And again, I'm just reviewing today's grant thing, and I don't know how many times it mentioned it's got to be projects that are in your asset management plan and all that too. So anyway, I'm happy also that the last year has shown improvements. It's a challenging environment, that's for sure. And Council is very aware of our large 2014 capital budget, but that's trying to put some multi-year projects all in one, and that's why we did that. So I'm sure Sarah or me or whatever, happy to answer any questions if we can.
Questions, anyone? I have a couple of questions, Sarah, Gord, and I agree with Gord. Thank you, Sarah, for your report. Our average condition, we've moved from 61% to 62. And I think I heard you say that that's good. We're trending in the right direction. Is that fairly normal? I mean, when we upgrade assets, new pipes, new infrastructure, new buildings, surprises me that percentage doesn't move up quicker. Like, so for example, we're doing a big project in Palmerston. It's been on our books for quite a number of years. And, you know, we're somewhere between 18 and 20 million. Am I assuming, I'm kind of assuming that 61, that 62 might go to 64. Is that too much of a jump? I mean, it's a big project and we're really doing a huge improvement. I guess my question was, or is, how do you figure moving from 61 to 62? And if you already went through that, I missed it. So
Well,
go ahead.
I guess in terms of it only being 1%, the $18 million is, in all honesty, a fraction of your 569 million in infrastructure. So that 61% condition is rated on the replacement cost value. So if you have the other 550 million in infrastructure that's deteriorating year over year, there are improvements that you're making, and it's making great headway, but there are still a lot of assets that are deteriorating. And because they're the average is based on that replacement cost value, it's 1% is a really great number.
So, thank you. I have one other question, and that's we moved in 2024, in 2025, we went up $43 million, if my math is correct. That, how much of that is inflation? I see Treasurer Duff's moving towards the mic.
I was gonna say a lot.
Yep.
Because as we're very well aware, it seems the municipal rate of inflation is much bigger than the CPI. And we can tell that by the tenders that we see. Yeah, and again, thinking of the roads department, very influenced by the price of oil with asphalt. And just the cost of things, especially in the water and wastewater, it's phenomenal how much it's gone up. So as I say, a lot of it is, when we add more infrastructure, sure, that puts it up. But I think that gets dwarfed by the inflation that we've had, especially in the last 2 years. I don't know, Sarah, if you see that with your other clients?
Yeah, for sure. I would say that between like construction costs increases, delivery costs, inflation is a major part of that. $40 million increase for sure.
Okay, do we have other questions? I've read the resolution. So I'm going to call the question is to receive for information. Is everybody happy going forward? All right, all in favor of the motion? That's carried. Sarah, thank you very much for the work you do for the town of Minto, and also Jackie and Gord and our staff. Gord talks about we are on target. We have not missed any deadlines, and that's really good to know. So, and showing improvement, I think, are the things that are good about this report. So, Sarah, Craig, we'll look at talking to you next year. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Take
We've
care.
called the question. We're going to move along to our open forum. So I'm going to read: open forum shall be scheduled at every regular council meeting with 15 minutes set aside for this. During this time, any individual may address council to voice concern or provide information on subjects of municipal interest. Members of the public are required to sign a register prior to the beginning of council, which allows them to the opportunity to speak, and also acknowledges they understand the protocol for open forum. No motions, decisions, or comments shall be made during the open forum portion of the meeting. Council may consider and or debate the information received during open forum during the deliberation of the items if it arises on regular council agenda. Any comments made during open forum shall not form part of the council minutes. General nature of the comments and the number of speakers may be indicated in the minutes. The use of courteous language will not, discourteous language will not be permitted. Seeking policies or bylaw outside of the town's jurisdiction, including policies or bylaws that might violate human rights legislation will not be permitted. And no individual shall speak more than once at any meeting, and no individual shall speak longer than 3 minutes. So we have one person signed in to the open forum. I'd like to welcome Andrew. Andrew Elvick, please. And appreciate it if you would speak into the mic and also state
Hello.
your name.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of Council. My name is Andrew Eldebs. I'm here on behalf of Clifford Park Street Developments regarding the DC bylaw before Council today. I want to acknowledge the progress made through the latest addendum. Our core concerns regarding the Elora Park intersection have been substantially resolved, and we appreciate that reconsideration. However, we have an outstanding concern regarding the Park Street urbanization. This is a $1.8 million project. The current allocation is $182,000 to benefit to existing and $1.63 million to developer contributions, with zero recovered through development charges. That's difficult to understand because both the 2020 DC study and the original 2026 draft included a significant DC recoverable share for the same project. Something changed, but we have not received a clear explanation of what. We received a memorandum from Watson on Thursday evening in response to our previous submission. We replied to Watson by early afternoon Friday, and we asked for a response before the bylaw came forward. We have not received one. Watson stated in their memo that the driver for this project is a specific development. That conclusion requires further explanation, because our traffic impact study states that our development is expected to have minimal impact on the Boundary Road network, and our traffic study does not identify Park Street urbanization as a required mitigation measure. So what specifically is driving Watson's conclusion? 3 points are the heart of the matter. First, our traffic study, again, does not identify Park Street urbanization as a required mitigation measure for our development. Second, there are several properties with frontage along Park Street, not just ours, which are designated as Greenfield area and designated growth area under the county's official plan. Projects required for generalized growth are supposed to be in the development charge. Third, this same project has carried 3 very different allocations in 3 successive studies. 3 studies, 3 very different answers, same road. We're asking council to direct the consultant to review this project before the bylaw is adopted. The project should be split into 2 sections. The first section is from the dead end to Clifford Trail, which our development fronts. And the second section is from Clifford Trail to Elora Street. The second portion, where our development does not front, should carry a DC recoverable share, which would be consistent with how other comparable projects in the DC study are treated. We're not asking to avoid legitimate local costs. We are asking that the allocation be based on evidence, applied consistently, and explained clearly. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm gonna open the floor here to questions for Andrew.
No questions at this
No
time.
questions?
During open forum. No
Okay.
questions during open
Thought
forum.
we did, okay. I'm very sorry, but Andrew, thank you very much for,
I'll stick around.
did I read that in the open forum that there's no
Yes.
questions?
Yes.
Okay, I should have been listening to myself. Thank you for correcting me on
Sorry,
that,
thank you.
Emily. So, we are going to move along to correspondence. We have a resolution moved by Councillor Gunson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that council receives the correspondence as information. And there is 4 items, 4.5 maybe, items on the correspondence today. Anything you want to report, Councillor Potnovitz, on Maitland Valley?
Yes, if I may, Your Worship. Just a quick update on, we had a discussion in regards to moving forward with the transition of the conservation or regional conservation authorities. So part of that, we had to appoint 2 members to sit on that transitional board. We did appoint Bill Beard, our general manager, and Ed McGugan, our board chair. So they will sit on that and provide comment on our behalf. So the transition plan has to be completed by February 1st of 2027. And the province has hired Ernst & Young to perform the transition plan. So they're looking for input from all the regional authorities that are anticipated to be created. And now it's in a commenting period right now. So I think our portion, I think we have about 5 or 6 comments that we're going to put forward, but the rest of the members have an opportunity to do that as well. So we'll see if they listen to some of our concerns, I guess, at the end of the day, and hopefully they make some changes to what they're proposing here. But just I'll give you a quick update on where it's going and some of the timelines.
Councillor Plantwitz, you're saying that all 36 conservation authorities are being set up the same way?
Yes, yeah, actually, I think ours is the Lake Huron Regional Conservation Authority. So we will be all along the Lake Huron, and I think part of Simcoe, I think, is part of ours. I haven't looked at the map yet, but I think there's 7 or 9 being created. I'm not 100% sure of that.
So until we get there,
yeah.
This other with Phil and your board chair is all
We
the
appointed them.
conservation authorities in Ontario, or are all 36 supposed to designate 2 people?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that report.
You're welcome.
Good luck. Other items on the correspondence? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Anderson.
The report from the county, I concur with most of their findings and their concerns about lot sizes and using one lot size across all areas, and I think it's appropriate. So I don't know whether we're already part of the report, but do we do a letter saying we're in agreement with it, or is there anything we need to do there or need to do?
So through you, Mayor Turton,
Go ahead.
this report has already been forwarded to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing on behalf of the County of Wellington.
Yeah.
So you can, if you want, do the same thing, but I mean, it has gone already on behalf of the County of Wellington.
Well, in that case, I just thank the county for bringing forward these concerns. I concur with most of them.
Okay, other items? I'm going to call the question. Receiving the correspondence. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. We're going to move to committee minutes approvals, and I'll ask, sorry, this is the Cultural Roundtable Committee. Just give me 1 second until I catch up here. Okay, I'll ask Director Belinda Wick to give us this report. Thank you.
Yes, can you hear me? Yes,
They're not real loud, so I do ask everyone to speak close into their mics. Are you finding it?
Test, that's better. Okay,
Thank you.
better mic. Thank you, Mayor Turton. These are the minutes of the May 25th Cultural Roundtable meeting. Just going to share some of the highlights. You will note in these minutes and going forward that the Norrigan Theatre Board minutes will be presented through the Cultural Roundtable Committee due to the fact that CSAC is no longer meeting. So you will see those minutes there, and we hope to have Grace Wilson attend our meetings, who can then provide direct reports to this committee. So lots of minutes there. The farmers market minutes were also presented, and just want to point out the farmers market does open this Saturday, so check that out. The Railway Heritage Museum minutes were presented as well from April and May. The museum opens tomorrow, and the committee and the students have been hard at work getting prepared for a busy summer season, so encourage you to make a visit there. In terms of the actual meeting then, we updated our action plan, lots of stuff happening there. We recapped our joint cultural roundtable meeting, which was held in Arthur in April and received many positive comments. And we're looking forward to hosting our next symposium in Hanover in the spring of 2027. The committee's busy planning for Culture Days, September 18th to October 2nd, and we will be offering micro grants again this year for any groups looking to host a free activity during that time. We approved a community event development fund request by the Palmerston Railway Heritage Museum, who are looking to host 3 events this summer. One is June 26th. It's called Barbecue and Boots and Beats, something like that. It's a country music evening where people can come, set up lawn chairs, make a donation. The Lions Club is preparing the food. There's a Sunset on the Rails event July 17th that they're having Ebony Moreau's perform at. Bernie Hale's performing at the first one. And then later in August, teaming up with the Minto Arts Council to host an en plein air art event. So that event application was approved as a new series of events for $1,000. And then an event enhancement grant came through the Hairston Street Party. Due to the various construction projects in Hairston this summer, they won't be able to have the car show on Main Street. It'll be on Queen Street. So they're looking for ways to draw people downtown to the businesses. And so they're going to hire 3 young youth musicians to perform. And so they requested a $500 grant for that, and the committee approved that as well. After that, we had a bunch of great committee member updates, and that was it. If there's any questions?
Thank you, Belinda. There's a lot of information in all those reports. It's pretty amazing what's happening. So I encourage everyone, if you have not already, to bring yourself up to date on what's happening. So we have a resolution moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that the Council of Town of Minto receives the Cultural Roundtable Committee minutes of May 25th, 2026 as information and approves any recommendation contained therein. And I'm sure Belinda will take questions. Hearing none, I'm going to call the question. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you. And I'm going to pass the chair to Councillor Gunson.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. We have one report today. It's municipal drain number 112 RFT results. And we have Ryan here to report on that.
Thank you, Councillor Gunson. Yes, today we're here to report on the tender results for municipal drain 112. Requests for tender were sent out for the improvement of municipal drain 112 under section 78 of the Drainage Act, with the town receiving 5 bids for the project. The work included on this tender is roughly 430 meters of plastic drain tile had to be relocated, and then a road bore underneath the 3rd line. The table on my report displays the tender results, and the results were all reviewed by our appointed engineer, Spirit Engineering. And we are recommending the lowest bid be awarded the contract, Williams Drainage. And if there's any questions, please let me know.
Thanks, Ryan. I'll read the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Podnowitz, second by Councillor Dirksen. That the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report PW 2026-025 municipal drain number 112 RFT results prepared by the Drainage Superintendent for information purposes. And further, that the Council of the Town of Minto awards a contract to William Drainage Inc. for the total tender price of $41,881 plus HST. Any questions for Ryan? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Favorite? Thank you. And I'm going to pass the chair back to the mayor. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you very much. And we're going to move into Plan 2026-011, B1626, Stephen Menzies. It's a severance at 9563 Old Wire Road. And I'm going to ask Sama Haghai to present the report.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor Turton. Good afternoon, everyone. Consent application B16-26 for secondary agricultural severance at 9563 Old Wires Road is currently under consideration by the County of Wellington Land Division Committee. The application proposes to sever approximately 1.24 acre or 0.5 hectare from parcel of agricultural land for a proposed rural residential use. The return parcel will be approximately 11.12 acre or 4.5 hectare and will remain agricultural land containing an existing dwelling, shed, horse barn, The land zone, site-specific agricultural, which means a canal operated is permitted accordance with the regulation of the town of Minto Dog and Dog Canal license. The proposed severance is permitted under the county's official plan and compliance with the provisions of the zoning bylaw, including frontage, lot area, and minimum distance separation requirements. Planning staff noted that if the existing canal has more than 3 dogs, a dog license is required. Under the town of Minto's dog licensing bylaw, the canal must be maintained a minimum setbacks of 150 meters or 492 feet from the proposed residential building on the severed plot. This setback requirement doesn't affect the current concept application. However, if the owner wants to renew the canal license in the future, the bylaw requirements will be considered. The standard conditions have been recommended, including satisfaction of all town of Minto financial requirements, affirmation of satisfactory access for both the severed and retained parcel, and obtaining zoning compliance, all to the satisfaction of the town of Minto. Town staff recommend that the council endorse the application and recommend approval to the County of Wellington Land Division Committee, subject to the 3 recommended condition noted in the report. I will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Sama. The recommendation is moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Gunson, that the Council of the Town of Minto recommends to the County of Wellington Land Division Committee to approve the consent application B1626 for Stephen Menzies for land legally described as concession 13, part lot 6, with the municipal address of 9563 O'Dwyer Road in the town of Minto, and the following conditions be considered. There's 3 of them: that the owner applicant satisfies all the requirements of the town of Minto, financial and otherwise; that the owner and applicant confirms that there's satisfactory access for both the severed and the retained parcels; and that the zoning compliance be achieved to the satisfaction of the town; and further, that the town of Minto file with the Secretary Treasurer of the Planning and Land Division Committee a letter of clearance for this condition. Questions for Sama? Go ahead, Councillor Benson.
So the severed land, they're gonna have to rezone it to remove the dog kennel? Okay.
The land will be rezoned to remove the use of.
So that'll be another application that has to come through to do that? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Other questions? All right, I'm going to call the question. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you, and we'll move along to the second item. Plan 2026-012. This is for part lot control exemption extension for the Right Haven Homes at 182 Bridge Crescent. And I'll ask, it's in Palmerston, and I'll ask Sama to present the report, please.
Mr. Mayor, this report relates to a part of control exemption application for 182 Bridge Crescent located within the Creek Bank Middle subdivision in Palmerston. Council may recall that this property was previously considered for a part of control exemption in October 2023 for 36 months. The exemption is set to expire in October 2026, and the applicant is requesting another 6 months extension. The developer has completed construction of 10 townhouse dwelling units. Each townhouse contains 1 additional residential unit, resulting in a total of 20 units on the site. And the developer is currently in the process of selling the remaining. Town staff have reviewed the request and have no concern with the proposed extension. Therefore, staff recommend that council receive this report for information and consider approving a 63-month extension to the existing part control exception bylaw. Thank you.
Thank you, Sama. So recommendation moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Zimmerman. The Council of the Town of Minto receives report plan 2026-012. Part lot control exemption extension for PLC 2023-03 Right Haven Homes, municipal address of 182 Bridge Crescent, Palmerston, prepared by the planning coordinator for information purposes. Questions? Fairly straightforward request. So if there's no question, I'm going to call the question. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. And then I'm going to pass the chair to Councillor Dirksen.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. And we have one item on the Finance Committee today, and I'm going to pass it to our treasurer to take us through the background study and bylaw.
Great. Thank you, Chair Dirksen. So this is a brief report, basically putting the presentations and the public meetings that we've previously held regarding development charges. As you know, this has been a very long process. We're into our 20th month of consultation and reports and that. We've had many meetings. We've considered much public input. And we have had the background of a changing legislative environment to deal with too, which I think is still going on. So basically, we have the original report, the first addendum, and the second addendum. And those voluminous documents are in your package. And again, we had the consultants from Watson and Associates present the technical aspects, which are kind of above me, but we've had Ryan and our consulting engineers as well as other departments look at that. So basically the process is to approve the original study and both addendums and consider passing the bylaw later in this meeting. So I can take any questions, but not necessarily technical questions.
Okay, I'll read the recommendation first. Moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson and seconded by Councillor Podnowitz that the Council of the Town of Minto receives report Finance 2026-014 regarding the 2026 development charges background study and bylaw prepared by the treasurer for information purposes. And further, the Council of the Town of Minto approves the development charges background study, including addendum 1 and 2, and further considers passing bylaw 2026-030 in open session. Looking for questions? Mayor Turton?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I've not got a question. I'm just make a comment. This is something that we do quite often, every 4 years, 5 years, whatever. And the DC charges is what we base our development on, and this is the reason why we hire Watson and Associates. And I know that our engineers have went over this since we have received the letters, and I feel very confident that we've done a really good job on this, and I recommend that we move ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Anyone else? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Thank you, that carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Duff, and I will turn the chair back to the mayor.
Okay, thank you very much, and we're going to move to announcements. So do we start with Councillor Zimmerman? Or do we end with you? Okay, let's end with you then. Councillor Dirksen, do you want to go first?
Thank you, Mayor Turton. I worked really hard to find things that Councillor Zimmerman would not think of.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, I know he might talk about this one, but we had a new event in Clifford last weekend with the kites in Clifford, and it was really well attended. The weather cooperated to make for a great day, and I just want to thank the Clifford Connects group and our staff team for their hard work and diligence in pulling this wonderful event together. Also, I've had a few questions about the changes to recycling in Wellington County and therefore in Minto. So sometime in July, recycling carts with wheels will be dropped off at residential properties in Minto. You don't have to do anything to make sure that part happens, but if you would like a smaller bin, you can request one up until June 12th. And I understand there are sample bins in the front of our office that you can have a look at. The smaller bin is about 2/3 the size of the larger one. But before making the choice for smaller bin, you need to consider that pickup for recycled materials is going to change to every second week. And if you decide on requesting a smaller bin, or you do nothing and receive a standard size bin, that's what you get. And you can't change your mind. So if you are unable to go online to Wellington.ca and find the info about the changes and or order the smaller bin, you may call this number, get your pen, 1-800-561-1655. So that's 1-800-561-1655. And then secondly, with nicer weather again, I'm again hearing about people, and I don't think these are people from Minto. I hope anyways. They believe that it is okay to stop by rural properties and farms and perhaps set up for a picnic or take a stroll down a back lane or enter a field for any reason, whether for pictures or visiting animals, etc. And I just want to remind people that these are private properties and being on them without permission is trespassing. If you know of anyone visiting rural properties or farms illegally, please let them know, if you feel brave, that this is not a good idea. And those are my announcements for today.
Thank you, Councillor Dirksen. I'd just like to add one or two things to the solid waste services. This is, our province that is promoting this new initiative, and it is circular materials. And it has, our province is looking after it. But our municipality does have the documentation in the front office here. If for some reason you can't get a hold of somebody at Circular Materials or the county, I'm sure our gals at the front desk, again, will bend calls and talk with people and help you through and give you emails and stuff like that. So it's a process that it's been a long time coming, and I know that other municipalities, other counties are having the same issue as us, and we have reason to believe that we will get to the bottom of it, and it's going to work well. So, Deputy Mayor Anderson.
Yes, I'm just making notes for Eileen, so I'll send it to her later. So Saturday is a busy, busy day in the community. So the Garden Festival is Saturday morning at the Harriston Pavilion in conjunction or in combination with the Fireman's Breakfast. So a good time for everybody to come out and support both groups. There'll be children's activities for the kids at the Garden Festival. There'll be master gardeners there if you have questions about gardening. And there's also a Wowza Day out at Violets in the Barn, a wellness day. So the weather cooperates, you get to do yoga amongst the apple trees. If it doesn't cooperate, you get to do it in the barn. And Farmers Market also starts up on Saturday in Palmerston. So no excuse for anybody to be sitting at home doing nothing on Saturday. There's lots and lots of activities in the community, and we encourage you to get out and be part of it.
Thank you. Councillor Elliott.
I have nothing. Unless I think of something tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councillor Potnovitz.
I have nothing.
Councillor Gunson.
I'll just take one off of Council Zimmerman's list. Harrison Firefighters Pancake Breakfast. It is this Saturday with the, if it's not Friday, Ron. It is rain or shine, and looking at the forecast for Saturday, it shows a little bit of rain. So be assured that you can come inside. If there's a lineup, you'll be undercover because we got, we'll make room for a lineup that you'll be inside. So come on in and have a coffee and some breakfast. And then when the weather breaks, go buy some plants. So, 7 o'clock in the morning, it starts 7 to 11, entry by donation. So come on out and enjoy some breakfast.
You the head chef?
No, I'm the delegator.
You're part of the delegation?
I delegate jobs.
Councillor Zimmerman, you're up.
Wow, we have to
Thank you, Mayor Turtle. I have to knock a couple off my list.
Just two?
Or more. Just to add to the Kites in Clifford Festival, we estimated that there would have been as many as 2,500 people showed up
Wow, that's great.
across the event for the day, which is just fantastic. Can't say enough how well that went. Yeah, so as Belinda mentioned, the Palmerston Railway Museum opens its door tomorrow for the 2026 season. We have three very enthusiastic young ladies as summer students there. Can't wait to get their arms dirty. And their names are Elham, Paisley, and Kirsten. So come on by. We've got a whole summer full of activities planned. So come and say hi. Let's see here. Thursday, June 4th, at the Hairston Minto Art Gallery, third floor, from 6:30 to 8 is the Norwell District Secondary School is presenting an art exhibition entitled Within the World. So this is the opening reception. You come and meet the artist, discuss their work, and enjoy some light refreshments. And the show runs until June 12th if you can't make it Thursday.
Times it start on the 4th, Paul?
6:30. Saturday, everybody took care of that. We'll talk about that one. The next thing in Palmerston we have to mention is Sunday, June 7th is Pride in the Park at the Palmerston Lions Heritage Park. So they're gonna have face painting, busker show, dance party, we can blow bubbles and hula hoop and take a train ride and paint rocks and who knows what all else. There we have it.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, so everybody is well aware that June is Pride Month, and our public works guys have our banners up and flag up out here. Second thing on Friday, last Friday, that would be about the 29th of May, our local fire service had Safe Kids Day. And if you've not been to a Safe Kids Day, up for the last few years, it's been in Minto. And 2026, it's in Arthur. It was in Arthur. And in 2027, it'll be in Mapleton. So I strongly ask everyone, and I know it's a kids' day, but they do allow, I was there, and they do allow others to come in. It's really interesting. Can't say enough about the organization, our local fire service. A lot of our men and women were there. It goes right from paramedics to police, to a lot of services that are part of our community. And there was quite a number of young people. I think that it was grades 4 and 5, busloads of people going in both the arena and the auditorium where there was lots of exciting things. So I want to thank all the volunteers that were that worked on this, because it was pretty amazing. It's a third year in a row that I've been to it, and a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into it. On Saturday, we had a grand opening in Clifford on Main Street, and it's Minto Mind Space. It's dedicated to life coaching, designed to help individuals navigate life's transitions, break through personal barriers, and create actionable paths towards their goals. So same thing. I'd advise everyone to stop in and see the gals there. Sounds very exciting. The gala, everybody's well aware that we had the gala in Hairston, the fundraiser for the Palmerston Hospital on May 23rd. It was absolutely amazing. The place was full. Again, a lot of volunteers and a lot of giving by our community. And so I'd just like to thank our staff for setting that place up. Again, it was beautiful. And I've heard very positive comments about how partnership between the hospital and the community is well and strong. So congratulations to the Minto Vikings. That's a new young men's baseball team organization in Minto. And the inaugural game was, I think, last Thursday night. So congratulations to all those folks that worked hard on bringing that organization to Minto. And the last thing, last night I had the opportunity to go for dinner with a group of individuals that are frontline workers at the hospital. It's called the Rural Ontario Medical Program. It's medical students from the different universities around the province, and they're allowed to come. I guess they're designated. They don't have a choice. Their first year students come to rural Ontario and spend time in our hospitals right around the province. And so we went in for dinner with last week with 2 young men, and last night with 2 young women, and they pretty impressed with the reception that they received at the Palmerston Hospital. And so, I mean, it's exposure to rural medicine, and it's pretty amazing on the stories that you hear from these young people about rural Ontario, because a lot of them are city people, even outside the province. So it was a great night. If there's nothing else, then I would like to, but we have a resolution moved by Councillor Gunson, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that the committee of the whole convene into regular council. All in favor of the motion? Carried, thank you. And then we have a resolution moved by Councillor Zimmerman and seconded by Councillor Dirksen. The Council of the Town of Minto ratifies the motion made in the committee of the whole. All in favor of the motion? Thank you, that's carried. Bylaws. Moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Potnovitz, bylaw 2026-017 be read a third time and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor of the motion? It's carried, thank you. And the development charges, moved by Councillor Gunson, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that bylaw 2026-030 be read a first, second, and third time, passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you. Confirmatory bylaw. You've moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that bylaw 2026-031 to confirm actions to the Council Corporation of the Town of Minto respecting a meeting held June 2nd, 2026 be read a first, second, and third time, passed in open council, sealed with the seal of corporation. All in favor of the motion? That's carried as well. Thank you. Adjournment. Moved by Councillor Zimmerman, second by Councillor Potnovitz, that the Council of Town of Minto adjourns to meet again at the call of the mayor. All in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you very much.